Alright, welcome in everyone. Let's get the music going again. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is doing the side quests that we still have here in Gold Road Expansion.
I will bring your murderer to justice, Father. This...
Alright, so that's
I
a
swear.
whole other thing. We will grab that later. There you are. You. Let's have a talk.
Looks like you have your hands full there, traveler. What's that squawking? Oh, clever Marcian. Thank you for this, traveler. I've been waiting. That old guzzard has a true Craglorn. I asked them to travel.
Alright, cool. So that one's complete. Let's get to the next one. Grab this one up here.
I will bring your murderer to justice, Father. This... I swear.
Even as the fever ravaged him. So I wonder if he, like, got injured and then got sick during recovery and it killed him.
You've come to the town of Ontis at an unfortunate time, traveler. I myself have only just returned. Coming home to bury one's... What other explanation is there?
It said
My
fever.
father, Oberyn, was town constable. He wrote to me about investigating some suspicious deaths. Then suddenly, I get a letter telling me he had died. I requested leave from the Legion, and not yet. First, I volunteered to replace him as constable. Then I had to make the arrangements to bury him. With multiple deaths to investigate, I need to hire a deputy. So what do you say, traveler? Your first task is to familiarize yourself with what's happening here. The graveyard is a good place to start. Notice the number of Ontis attracts workers from both the Highlands and Hammerfell. It's known for...
Okay, so he had fever and died. This one, well-respected ranch hand, loved animals more than people, could stop a charging bull with a single glance, but could not stand up to fatigue fever. So this is another fever death. A quarrier's quarry should never refuse hard work. Known to the fastest pickaxe. Died too young from that damn fever. So there is an illness going about. Leaving behind friends, loved ones, and a dead as long as... Okay. Gambling den. Burn the candle about quarry by night. Too much work led to an early demise. Fever took on town cried. So ranch and quarry. Quarry
Tell
and
me your
ranch.
thoughts, deputy.
And there's an illness. So my thoughts would be we have to investigate the ranch and the quarry both. And possibly the gambling den this person's gravestone mentioned. Those would be my three next steps of investigation. Let's see if the game gives it to us that way.
You examined the newest grave markers. Give me your impressions, deputy.
Ranchers and quarry workers both, yeah.
Indeed. My father wrote that both the ranch and the quarry were working their laborers very hard of late. But prior to this, I never heard of a fever that strikes down strong, healthy workers so the town leaders would have everyone believe. My father made no mention of feeling unwell in his last letter. It was dated the same day he died. He often wrote to me about his investigations, said it helped him think through all the permutations.
So he wrote a letter, and he wasn't feeling sick. and then he died that day from a fever. So the fever is quick on onset, and it kills quickly too. So it's not bacterial, it's viral, or it's Daedric in nature. One of the two. Which means there's going to be a source of it. So that means there's either going to be a shrine or some sort of thing that's used to make people sick immediately.
Just that he was baffled. He described fatigue fever as a strange illness that was killing workers, but he had a feeling there was more involved in the deaths. He suspected foul play. Talked to some of the townsfolk. They may be more willing to open up to a stranger than to me. He'd be surprised what My father's letter said he was planning to question Grakuk at the stone chip, ranch overseer Marak, and quarry boss Larina. Let's start where he left off and talk to them. Then, check my father's office. I haven't been able to do that yet.
Okay, so Stone Chip is the gambling den. We're going to the quarry and the ranch overseer, so those are the three places that we figured we needed to go anyways. So,
just see
we're
what they
in the
have
right
to
thought
say about
process.
recent events. The deaths of their fellow workers. My father. What they think about fatigue fever. My father must have assumed that my father's office. My office now, I suppose. It's been unoccupied since he died. I know I need to go in there.
Okay, so let's go. Where is the quest? There we go. Let's find the constable's office first. That's the gambling den. Constable station. Let's find this. Let's check this place first and see what we're working with. What he already discovered for us. I can't tell if that's rummaged through or he's just messy record keeper. I will say it increased. Dane Otis quarry been impressive. I don't know what the ranch are feeding their workers, but whatever it is, certainly paying dividends. The healer reports workers have come down with strange debilitating fever, stress, overwork. I asked for an update. Broke had to fight the storm ship, arguing over the outcome of the game. Make it fast, so I sent the combatants back to other parts of the town with a warning. 3 more workers have come down, and the healer's referring to fatigue fever. If the ranch from the quarry blames it on exhaustion, I should speak with the overseer of the quarry and the quarry boss and me scaling back work pace. The healer gave me a rundown on the effects of the mysterious illness. The inflicted become extremely tired and too weak to move. A terrible fever grips them, and they become delusional as they burn with sickness. As the illness progresses, they fall into a deep sleep from which she can't awaken them. And all the workers were extremely strong and healthy the last time she checked on them. Very strange. The first 4 workers fell ill today. 2 worked at the ranch, 2 worked at the quarry. The healer can't put her finger on the cause yet, but she is concerned that both ranch and the quarry seem to be affected. So far, no one doesn't work at either of these places has come down with fatigue. I visited the ranch and the quarry rounds, even with the workforce down with fatigue, fever. Both enterprises were fully engaged and appeared to be thriving. I never saw large more deaths. Can't explain. Foaming and convulsions. Navima, is that the healer? Yeah, okay, so Navima's the healer. She figured out something important. Gripped by convulsions, and she died in my arms. The first person that died directly. Her healer's log was missing. So, yeah, this is active and somebody is trying to stop it. Okay. So, anybody who gets close to figuring it out dies. And it's quick, it's sudden. So, it's obviously deliberate, it's obviously orchestrated, and I'm gonna... It's gotta either be Daedric or, like, deliberate poisoning. Let's find out. You got any lore books in here first? Can't walk through the cloth. No readables, I'm seeing. Yep, no readables. Oh, right. You, let's have a chat.
Despite rumors to the contrary, Carvane Ranch only hires qualified applicants. Seasoned ranch hands only. We have no time or inclination to train novices. And we especially have no need of rowdies. Perhaps you should inquire at the quarry, Ah, I see. I had an appointment to speak to her late father. Unfortunately, he succumbed to that terrible malady before that occurred. I'll tell you what I plan to tell him. No crime plagues the town of Ontis. Just a lamentable... Isn't that the nature of lawkeepers? To see a crime behind every event? Guilt is the source of every motivation? Baron Carvane ordered me to cooperate, as long as it didn't interfere with the business of the ranch.
Now, I have ESO rewards from your past streams. How do I claim them in-game? Okay, so, what you have to do is, if you're using your phone, let me open it up here and do it as well. So you open up Twitch. When you're in Twitch, if you're watching me, what you do is you pull my video down in the corner, and it should open a screen similar to this. On this screen, you're going to click in your icon on the top left corner, and you're going to go to drops. And then you're going to scroll down till you find the ones for the ESO, and you're going to hit claim on them. And once you claim them, they'll be automatically sent to your inventory. If it's crown crates. If it's not crown crate, if it's like scrolls or anything of that nature, and then what you need to do is you need to go over to your social, and in your mail they'll be sent to you, and you can claim them there.
You really are new. The Baron owns Carvane Ranch, which feeds most of Westweald. This fatigue fever, as it has come to be known, is a burden on business, but you can't toss a disease in the dungeon. If there is nothing else, good day to you.
So the Baron, who owns it, he's obviously one of the bad guys. He's involved for sure. Let's see who owns the quarry. Maybe the quarry dude will tell us. Okay, thank you. Crate let me, others didn't, just like you explained. Now they all say claims. Thank you again. Yep, no worries. And then for your crown crates, how you claim those is you go to the crown store, and you go to crown crates, you open that up, and if you have any,
Fortune
they'll be
favor you,
displayed
my
here,
friend.
and you can just
Bright
push A to
moons,
open them.
welcome. Are you interested in... Goodbye, my friend.
Alright.
Another worker out sick, and right after one of my best died in his sleep. You look strong. Interested in making some coin in the quarry, stranger? Constable Ulbrin's daughter? Look, if this is about that conversation I had with Yabrin's father, I must have been mistaken. I don't know anything about the illness, other than I've lost more quarriers lately than I can replace. Briefly, I thought I noticed something, but I was wrong. Besides, he died before we could talk more. Look, the illness is bad, but my remaining quarriers are more than making up for the workers we lost. Beyond that, I have nothing more to say.
So she's been intimidated to remain quiet.
Listen, I'm just the crew boss. I hire quarriers and keep them busy. If you have questions beyond that, you need to talk to Lady Raxley. She owns the quarry and knows a lot more about what you're asking than I do. Now, I have a quarry to run.
Lady Rexla. So we got two nobles that are definitely profiting from this situation, so they're
Why did we
definitely
leave
involved
Hammerfell,
in some
Curvan?
shape, way, or form.
You know why we left, my love.
But all we found here was
Let's see who
hard
owns
work
this
and terrible
place.
sickness.
Hard work is the same all over. And the illness will...
What are crown gems? So crown gems... Hold on.
Greetings, my friend. Are you ready? Who knows what awaits you? Let's find out together. Your crates are gone, but there are always more available.
Okay, so crown gems, what you do is when you're in the crown crate section and you're looking at the crates like this, you push Y. And it pulls up any items that you have received from crates you have opened that are currently in your inventory. And here, if you don't want the item, you can extract it for gems. And it tells you down the bottom there how many gems each one is worth. So this one's only worth 1, but this one up here is worth 33. However, they're experience scrolls, so I'm keeping them. But you get these crown gems this way. And
No
what
more
you can
crate.
do
May luck
with the
follow
crown
you.
gems is you can come into the store and you can go over to the crown crate section. And down on the bottom here, they have all the items that you can get out of the crown crate, and you can purchase them directly with the gems. In case you don't want to go digging through the all the crown crates and hope you get what you want, you can do it this way and just purchase directly the item you want. But it takes saving up the crown gems to do it. Alright. Let's get up here. Don't mind me. Hey you, let's have a chat.
Welcome to the Stone Ship Tavern and Gambling Den, stranger. Looking for work in Ontis? Or did you come to our fine establishment because you heard we host the best games of chance this side of the Strid?
Legitimately, if you would let me play the games, I would absolutely try all of them.
So you're Yabrin's new deputy? Good. She could use the help. I'm not sure I could come back and dive into work after losing someone as close as Yabrin was to her father. What can I tell you, deputy?
Okay. Thank you. I have 32. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. But yeah, it's a nice way to get the exact items you want, and it's a good way to get to, like, because you get a lot of potions and foods and stuff, and you'll get quite a few items that you just don't want, and you can turn them in and actually save up the resource for things you do want in the future. So it's a great system.
Constable Albrin was a good man. Kept the peace here. Made sure the workers, both native townsfolk and recent arrivals, got along. He was a friend. I know he was concerned about the illness spreading through town. Shame it killed him. We talked all the time. As I said, we were friends. He'd sometimes inquire if there was any chatter in the stone chip he needed to worry about. But the only news I can think of is that a lot of our regulars from the quarry haven't been in a while. Not much to tell. We're a small town full of hard-working people. Most everyone is employed by the Carvane Ranch or the Raxley Quarry. Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley have always had sort of a friendly rivalry, but lately it seems less cordial.
Interesting. So maybe they're on opposing sides?
The ranch makes a substantial profit providing food for the town and the region. While the quarry has had some success, since the war for the throne heated up, it's begun to challenge the Baron's status and put a strain on their relationship. It's the illness affecting the workers. Took Constable Albrin, too. We saw the first signs of it a few months back. It started innocently enough. Most thought everyone was working too hard. But then those with the illness started dying. He was? That's a good question. I suppose maybe it was a little strange that only people who work at the ranch or the quarry were getting sick. Until, that is, Healer Navalma and Albrin got ill. The disease came upon them and they died very quickly.
I'll be lurking. I gotta sleep soon. Okay, thank you for the lurk. I greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's continue this investigation. Let's see. What about the ranch and the quarry being less cordial? Yeah, 'cause that's gotta play a part of this.
The ranch makes a substantial profit providing food for the town and the region. While the quarry has had some success, since the war for the throne heated up, it's begun to challenge the Baron's status and put a strain on their relationship.
Okay. But how are they enhancing their workers' output? Because whatever they're doing is killing them. And it's something that's being done to them. It's not overwork. It's something that's literally being done to them that's killing them. Because people are dying, but the output's not diminishing like it should.
Deputy, were you able to interview the townsfolk I suggested? I wonder what my father hoped to get out of talking to them. I know this is all tied to fatigue fever. I just don't know how. What about the constable's office? Did you find anything important there? My father's notebook? It describes how productivity increased lately at both the quarry and the ranch. Interesting. And he mentions how the town healer died suddenly before she could share her findings. 2 suspicious deaths that break the pattern. That 2 healthy people, not connected to the ranch or quarry, were suddenly inflicted with fatigue fever and died faster than any other victims. My father planned to talk to Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley next. Do that, while I investigate the healer. Let's rally at the Stone Chip Tavern when you're done, Deputy.
Alright. So. Looks like we're right next to one, so let's get this one done. So this is the Baron's place, so we're gonna talk to the Baron first, it looks like. First, we check for readables. Maybe like a lore book or something. No lore books. No noteworthy readables. Just bookshelves. Okay, okay. Let's check the office where the Baron's at.
The Carvane Ranch does not sell to individual buyers. This is not a general store. Might I suggest the market's in Skingrad? Or perhaps you can purchase a meal at the Stone Chip Tavern. Glad to hear that young Yabrin has gotten right to work. Her father would be proud. But I am uncertain as to what I can tell you that would help advance her investigation. I didn't realize that sickness and illness were now the purview of the town constable. I can tell you what I know. A strange disease has befallen workers at my ranch. Is it? No matter. None of this is a concern to me, and I have no idea how to help you. I have enough to do just to keep the ranch running.
So you're hiding something. That's freaking clear as day. So we're gonna have to do some sort of investigating where they don't want us to be. Or investigate the office again somehow when they're not present. Or investigate maybe the workers' quarters or the quarries and the ranches themselves. That might be another option. So again, no readables, no noteworthy readables. Can't go upstairs. Alright.
If you're looking for work, please talk to quarry boss Lorena. I have more important... Yabrin's back? I assumed she was fighting in Cyrodiil, or guarding the Count's precious bear. If this is about Olbrin's suspicions, I'll tell you what I told the healer. My quarriers enjoy the rewards that come with hard work. Illness. Did it? I don't recall any standing appointments. The constable always treated me with the respect I deserve. He never found it inconceivable that Emperor Leo... My business is none of your concern. We struggled in the past, and were almost forced.
So, yep, you are hiding something too. Alright, so you're both hiding things. So how do we investigate it? Again, I would say go where either the workers sleep or bunk, or where they actually work and investigate the area. Possibly investigate in more in depth in their offices when they're not present. But those are the only things I can think of. Here's the actual tavern portion. Any readables here? Nope, no readables. Gambling den.
Deputy, over here. Deputy, I have a message for you from... The constable said she found something at the healers that pointed to a possible source of fatigue fever. She asked me to let you know, and that you should meet up with her. That I couldn't say. She wasn't exactly eager to share the details of her investigation in the middle of a town gambling den. But between you and me, if Carvane and Raxley aren't guilty of this, they sure as Tusk are guilty of something. Carvane Manor's south of town, on the Carvane Ranch. Watch yourself there. The ranch hands don't take kindly to trespassers. As for...
So, I guess we're gonna be killing a whole lot of locals. All right. Well, at least it looks like they're guards, not like just regular farmers and stuff.
That's it?
All right.
Over so soon?
Favorite alchemists discover a substance in newly dug section of the quarry that can solve our productivity issues. If you're willing to set aside our usual animosity, come to my office. I believe you'll be very interested in my proposal. Oh, it's gonna be Daedra related. Damn it. Make sure there's nothing else. To Zegger's Blind, northeast, immediately by order of Baron Canterbury. Use discreet deliver wagons, lamb, 700 pounds, cabbage, 250 heads, potatoes, 300 pounds, flour, 40 sacks. Interesting. Are you altering the food with magic? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what it sounds like. Alright, let's get out of here. Go, go, go. We gotta find a way in. It's not that way. And it is closed to me. Oh, that hurt. There we go. There's somebody.
Back on guard duty, you shirkers.
Dark Company Alchemist.
That'll teach them not to cross us.
Okay. Dark Company Mercenary. The other guys were full on Manor Guards. These guys are Dark Company, so... Is this a new faction? That we're gonna be... New bad guy faction that we're gonna be dealing with? Cool, none of this is stealing. It's another one of them damn statues. Lady R, despite our long-standing rivalry, unapologetic dislike for each other, our profits have become dependent on one another as of late. Hila Navarra is becoming an increasing problem as she continues to examine and treat workers when we need to do something about that before too long, and now it seems the Constable Urban has started looking into our business. That I cannot abide. Warn Alchemist Cirrus to make sure that there's nothing to find at Zegger's Blind. I also suggest you heed my advice and make sure the Dark Company mercenaries, they are quite good at what they do. Okay, so they were deliberately murdered, and there's something at this blind place, Zegger's Blind, hopefully, that we can uncover. Hopefully they didn't evacuate the area and clear everything out, and they're still there because they just dealt with the problem instead. Let's go find out. One more piece of evidence to collect. The unusual stone that fills the newly dug section of quarry is very intriguing. I believe I can grind it in the sand and create a potent elixir. This elixir, when consumed, will
there
increase
you are.
productivity of the
We should
quarries
investigate Zegger's
thousandfold.
Blind next.
Stop talking, Constable. There may be some unfortunate side effects, but I won't know for sure until we test it on the workers. This solution to the low productivity and loss of profits we discussed, of that I'm certain. I just require a mechanism for getting it into the workforce. Okay. Food source. Okay. Available to discuss details. Okay, so they're altering the food with this stuff in order to increase productivity. So let's go to Zegger's Blind. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Alright, let's get on over there.
Oh, good. You found it. Place used to be crawling with goblins. Let's see what's in here now.
Okay. So that's gonna be our exit. Come on, jump. There we go.
The Baron said to watch for intruders.
Let's end them.
There's a key sitting on that desk. Take it, and see if it unlocks any of the drawers. Not for that desk? Then let's find the lock that key opens.
Hey, stay with me.
You're not gonna help fight, Constable? You gonna stand there? Okay.
Over there. Try the key in that desk.
Payment for our 2 problems and close. Good to work. We have another use in these particular expertise. Gambling den, new deputy, high inquisitor scare. They are both might be stricken with fever fatally, and that should end this matter once and for all. The constable Yarborough understood another way to deal with her. She seemed to be accused of the very crime she's been investigating. Poetic justice, the fire of the alchemical. Okay, so they're framing her.
They're after us. And Grakhoot. I'll go warn him. You destroy this alchemical equipment.
Remember, no one's allowed on the ranch.
Alright, that stuff's destroyed.
I heard those warriors were up to no good.
Alright, got those down. Shit. Of course it is. I'm so smart. Alright, let's wrap around. Hey, bud.
I won't
There's
let you
the
destroy
alchemist.
my life's work.
And there's the exit, like we said.
Watch it.
And there we go. Now let's go see if the dude that is at the gambling den is already gone, or if we still got a chance to save this dude. We weren't in time.
Mercenaries got the drop on me. Constable Yabrin. They busted in right after she arrived. Mercenaries by the looks of them. They made a point of shouting so everyone could hear. Fatigue fever is your fault, you and your crooked father.
Alright, so he's gone. Well, let's go save the constable. So we weren't in time, and he drank the wine, and the wine is probably what did him in, even though the mercenaries grabbed him and broke in. Alright, so let's do this. Go, go, go.
Agreed to sign the confession, Yabrin. My patience won't last forever.
Give
Over
me
here.
that. I'll
Get
sign
me out of these
her
bonds.
damn name. In case you haven't noticed, we've got company.
The deputy. Mercenaries! Kill them and dump the elixir into the reservoir. Come, Rexley. We need to get out of here.
Deputy, you stop the mercenaries. I'll go after Carvain and Rexley.
Let's get this over with.
I never did like lawfolk. You'll pay for that!
Ooh, you guys hit hard. Okay. Alright, we got him. What's up here? Let's see what's up here first. Nothing. Ooh, we got another fragment. Very nice, very nice. Alright. Let's go kill these people.
That's far enough, Baron. I've got them. What happened at the reservoir, Deputy? I can't believe I allowed myself to get captured by this bunch. If my fellow legionaries hear about this... But tell me. Good. And we have enough evidence to implicate them. Not only in the deaths of Healer Navama and my father, but in the death... That's another death to lay at their feet. And all in the name of profit. They plan to destroy the... I'll present the evidence we collected to the magistrate in Skingrad. I hope my father can rest easier now. That's a good question. I haven't quite decided yet. I want to stick I might have...
Alright, so we got them taken care of. Zoom out! Let's see. We've got this one. So let's get this one here. So standard old poison for profit. Interesting. And they went with an alchemical thing rather than like a viral disease or something. So it wasn't malicious, it was just we wanted shortcut for profit. Standard human greed. Go figure. I kind of was assuming that it was going to tie into the main storyline stuff. What are you doing? What is this place?
You weren't keeping score, were you? Me neither.
Nothing? No? Okay. Anything up here? No? Weird. Alright, let's ride. What was that? Ah, just lighting. Okay.
It seems Mizik has been... Careful now. A cunning and foul beast has made off with an important document and played Mizik for a wonderful idea from dear Aquilia. This one fears there is more afoot to Lady Weatherly's death. But our first clue is currently in the jowls of a dog. A hairy, stinky thing. Oh, yes. Helping with the will is a cover. Not only was her death sudden and mysterious, but now her fortune is missing, and her long-lost son has returned. A great many threads for... Yes, yes. Aquilia wishes the question of inheritance be conclusively answered before it becomes fodder for the gossips. Now, dear Aid, we must find Betu.
Alright, let's go figure out how to get the thing from the dog. Unless it's
More
like
tracks.
a monster we gotta
The
kill.
dog definitely went this way.
Get it together, Edric. You're a mess.
What's that? Mizik hears voices. Let us listen in.
Our dear lady is dead. And you still don't believe me. Then talk to the investigator. Don't pull me into this.
Can we even trust him? I don't want to be labeled a suspect.
Better to talk to an investigator than a gardener, Edric.
Not a gardener. A friend. You do well to leave, Otho. And take Betu with you.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to talk to that dude at some point.
I don't know what you're playing at, but you were a fool to come here.
There's Lady Belena and her husband Uriel, our once long-lost son.
Be angry all you want, dear wife, but don't cause a scene. I'm here to stay.
Fine. Then you can help deal with your cousin and that inane investigator. Now, where could that mangy dog have gotten off to?
So, a cousin is involved somehow. More footprints. More footprints.
There's Betu. Quick, grab the wheel while he is occupied. Quickly, grab the wheel.
Not now, Betu. Away with you.
With the wheel secured, let us speak with Edric.
Betu's always been an incorrigible sort. Best not to let him walk all over you. Apologies. I should introduce myself. My name is Edric Brusner. I was Lady Weatherly's cook. Terrible thing, her death. Beyond compare. Yes, terribly so. I've been in her employ for what feels like ages, which is why I hope you'll listen when I say you must leave the estate. I fear what happened to our dear lady could happen to you. Chefs are privy to more than just their employer's favorite dishes. Lady Weatherly hasn't been the same since her son's disappearance, and I'm not the only one to take notice. Fruit flies buzz around the sweetest fruit, after all. I can't say any more. I only came to pay my respects and to leave this place behind. If I were you, I would stay far away from that manor before that investigator digs up something horrible. If you insist on staying...
It seems the cook knows more than he is willing to let on. How very curious. Mizik will have to make note of this. At least this confirms that the residents of the estate are keeping their secrets close to their chests. Yes, of course. Along with the cook, there's Otho Florius, the gardener. Then, of course, Lady Weatherly's missing son himself, Uriel, back from the dead. And his wife, Helena, who has long lived at the estate with Lady Weatherly. Convenient, yes? Many questions surround Uriel's sudden return, and it should be noted that Helena seems none too pleased about it. Mizik has, of course, investigated a number of failed marriages, but this seems different. Ah, what of the will? Yeah, excellent. The seal is still intact. We should return to the manor now that we've secured the will. I am certain our roosting vultures are keen to hear what it has to say. Meet Mizik by the manor house.
Alright, let's go find out what this will has to say, because I'm sure it's going to be a nice big piece of information.
I hope Betu's return means you retrieved the will, Mizik?
Yes, the will is returned and intact, thanks to my assistant.
Well, let's get this over with. Read it aloud, Mizik.
Yes, of course. Weatherly's walls hide a glittering secret, safely guarded by 4 loyal paws.
The dog.
Do not worry. Mizik and his assistant will get to the bottom of this.
I'm sorry. Is that a riddle?
This must be some sort of joke.
There he is. My faithful
It's the
friend.
dog.
Oh!
Strange. Betu doesn't seem too fond of you, cousin.
Nonsense. I'm sure Betu just needs time to remember me. Isn't that right, boy?
Feel
Betu
free
is
to
loyal
speak
to the
with the others,
groundskeeper.
but join me in
Interesting.
the study when you are ready.
Okay, interesting. Interesting that the dog is choosing the gardener, the groundskeeper. Let's see here.
The estate feels hollow now, without her. And apologies for my appearance. Needed some liquid courage to walk the halls of this corpse. I hope you find who did this. She did not deserve... Closer than most staff are with their lords and ladies, I reckon. I'd worked for her since before young Uriel had even been born. Feels like a lifetime ago.
I'm Otho, the gardener. Betu must like you if he followed you back. He's a good judge of character, you know. Lady Weatherly loved him dearly. Edric is making a bit of a fool of himself. It pains me to see him this way. I assure you, he's never acted like this before. Perhaps it'd be better if you asked him. He's had a rough go of it.
It seems I was right to ask for your help. Despite the mysterious contents of the will, this is the most progress we've made all day. I trust you and Mizik will see things through, and we can proceed with this unpleasant business. Fairly, though I wish I had made more of an effort to visit. I spent many summers here when I was younger, but school and then my position kept me away for far too long. She was kind, generous. Her loss outweighs any treasure we might find.
If we get to pick, I'm picking the groundskeeper.
All this waiting, and for what? A riddle. It's absurd. The sooner you and Mizik solve this riddle, the sooner our family can move on from this nonsense. To think we haven't even had a chance to celebrate Uriel's return. How embarrassing. You overheard that. Tensions have been high since his mother's passing. There are certain adjustments we've both had to make. Nothing's...
I didn't realize Mizik had an assistant. A pleasure to meet you. I hope, despite the circumstances, you will find time to enjoy the estate grounds. It's beautiful this time of year. A small blessing while we grieve. Happy doesn't do the feeling justice. Ecstatic, overjoyed, yet still burdened by Mother's passing and the horrors of battle. But being surrounded by loved ones has been a major boon.
Interesting. Yeah, but they also said that they thought you were back from the dead, and your body looks burned up everywhere. So, did you actually die and be brought back? Can't go in the bedchamber yet, huh? Bet you there's more evidence in there. Cavern. There's gonna be some evidence in that. Alright. 1 second, folks. We'll be right back. We'll leave the music running. Alright. I'm back. So, let's go talk to this.
Why would Lady
Oh, wait, we
Weatherly
got
leave
some
a
readings.
riddle in her will? Perhaps you can make sense of it.
I can't interact with it yet. Okay. Make the following determination of the remaining of the households. Safely guarded by 4 loyal paws. It's the dog. It's the
Could the
freaking
4
dog.
paws
It's not
mean
that hard.
Betu? They certainly
Yes.
are not Mizik's. Perhaps we can find a clue here in her study.
Okay.
It seems Pelena made her feelings about the cook quite clear to Lady Weatherly.
It's great sum of gold to find you. Stubborn as ever, I'm willing to... You met your end. So I kept search secret. I included... I floated the idea, and she came in accusing me of wasting risk. Perhaps like me, she's frightened of the truth. I now confirmed she died. Okay.
It seems Lady Weatherly led her own investigation into her son's death. A note peeking out from behind the painting. Excellent eye for detail, friend.
Alright. So, Lady Weatherly, I know I had a hard time with her signature, but I fear for my life as much as I fear for yours. For your trust, I offer this. Ginseng cornbread tea brewed in candied rose petals. Only to someone who cares for you deeply knows your favorite tea. I risk writing this letter because the traitor schemes behind your back. It pains me to say this, but the woman you've cared for all these years they've had some murder in your hand. Will miss. So Pelena.
Interesting.
And
A
Eric.
hidden note guarded by a painted dog.
Hold on.
What does it say?
Okay, so what it's telling us is that Helena arranged all of this, she got suspicious. The cook got suspicious of her, so she had the cook removed. She knew the guy was dead and wanted her to stop pursuing it, but felt that she couldn't get away with just being the inheritor, so she probably hired this person to pretend to be the dead son, so that she could inherit everything and he gets a portion of the profits or gets to keep a title or whatever. Something to that effect would be my guess so far based on the evidence we have.
Let Mizik see the note. An anonymous letter warning Lady Weatherly of a traitor. This one wonders if they were able to meet before her death. It paints a disturbing picture of her final moments. Mizik was told that Lady Weatherly died alone in her library. But could she have met with a stranger only to become their victim? We must question the family, but do not mention the note.
Again, I'm pretty sure that the cook here wrote the note. He seems the most concerned about everything. And I'm pretty sure it was Lady Helena. And the other dude's an actor. That's going to be my my guess there. Mercenary of some kind, probably.
Whether this note was sent by the killer or a kind soul close to Lady Weatherly, it confirms one thing, that there is indeed a traitor among us. And with this letter, Mizik can do what he does best. Play cat and mouse.
Nice play on words there, bud. Alright, so let's go see if we can confirm our suspicions.
If you are looking for the stranger who calls himself Uriel, he went to walk the estate grounds with Helena, and not a moment too soon. I was growing tired of their bickering. Of course, though I doubt I'd be of much help. I was tending to affairs in High Isle when I learned of my aunt's death. As her last living blood relative, I saw fit to see to her will, until my cousin's convenient reappearance, of course. Oh, as I understand it, she fell from her library's ladder while reaching for a book. If she had kept a modest staff on hand, perhaps she could have been saved. But by the time she was found, she had passed. I believe it was one of the estate's remaining workers. Helena would know more. She was here when it happened. Unlike Uriel. I know grief can cloud one's judgment, but is she not at all suspicious of Uriel's story? I haven't seen Uriel since we were teens, before I was sent to boarding school. And then he left to fight in Varen's revolt 6 years ago. He might share a passing resemblance, even with his scar, but I don't believe he's really Uriel.
Okay, which we suspected already.
Frustratingly, no. But my aunt spent countless coins searching for Uriel. Even if his story is true, and he lost his memory, she would have found him. I fear Uriel was lost to us in the revolt. And this man is wearing our grief like a disguise.
Yeah, that'd be a fair assessment. That's what I came to.
That's the thing. Since his arrival, Helena has been both overjoyed and furious. I suppose his return after so long could explain her mixed emotions. But I think she's hiding something. They share terse whispers constantly.
Hiding something like, oh, I don't know, that she hired the dude?
If Aquilia was Lady Weatherly's last living heir, could she have expected to receive the missing fortune? A motive, perhaps.
Well, that's always a motive, but I really don't suspect her. If she actually was involved in any foul play, she would not have hired people to investigate it because she would be investigating herself.
How foolish of you to think that I would just disappear.
My love, the investigator returns. We'll continue. Apologies. Recent events have been overwhelming, to say the least. I needed some fresh air, and my dear Uriel saw fit to join me. Is there anything I can help you with? No, I was not. Lady Weatherly was kind enough to let me live on the estate when Uriel went off to fight, but I often spend my mornings walking through the woods, a ritual that has helped ever since Uriel's death. Absence, I mean.
Yeah. Nice cover. Smooth move there, X-Lax.
Otho Florius, the gardener, was the one who found her. He was the only one home at the time. Ever since I fired that horrible cook, Otho's been the only remaining staff member tending to the estate.
So Otho's involved, or he's just smart enough to keep everything to himself. One of the two.
Yes, I caught Edric snooping around my private quarters. Terrible thing, having one's privacy encroached upon. I told him to never return or I'd have Betu chase him out. I admit I did enjoy striking fear into that sad little man. Well enough. He's known me since my courtship years with Uriel. He causes his fair share of mischief, but Lady Weatherly could never bring herself to get rid of him. After all, Betu was her last connection. The dog has a penchant for stealing what isn't his. I usually ask our gardener to wrangle him, but as you can see, he hasn't done a very good job. Of course, now that Lady Weatherly has passed.
And he tried bringing the will to the cook that was fired. So the cook is 100% obviously in the clear. He's the one trying to investigate and figure this out and save people. So he's just very sloppy about his approach. And again, the dog trusts him, which was a key thing in her will. I really think this dude's an actor.
Go on then, ask me how I returned. It's the only question anyone seems to have for me. Uriel Weatherly, back from the dead. 6 years ago, I left to fight in Varen's revolt. I was gravely wounded and left for dead, and would have died, had a caravan of Khajiit not stumbled upon me and taken pity. The Khajiit could heal my wound. Every single one. I rode with the caravan until I was fully healed. It wasn't until we rode into Skingrad that the first slivers of my past began to return. By the time I remembered my name, some things, yes, but there are still heavy clouds. For instance, it's clear Mother's riddle was meant for me. I fear Aquilia has merely succumbed to her own grief, chasing phantasms with bloody daggers. From what I've been told, my mother lived her final years grieving in isolation. My dear wife Pelena did her all this talk of suspects when the woman simply fell. Though I...
Yeah, no, your story's crap too, dude. You're not even a very good liar. You can't just all of a sudden remember things just because someone's dead and you have the opportunity to gain. Like, that's not how memories work there, bud.
There you go, Betu. Baths aren't so bad. You won't learn anything from those scheming charlatans, that's for sure. Lost memories, please. Children can weave better stories than that drivel. I'll say it again, stranger. You should leave this place. Nothing but rotten memories. No. Lady Pelena had all but run me out by then. Lady Weatherly couldn't bring herself to fire me, but I thought some time away would do us all some good. Worst decision of my life. It's my own fault, honestly. Something always felt off to me about Lady Pelena. She never seemed too torn up about Uriel's death. I was convinced she was hiding something, but turns out my chef's paunch doesn't make for being stealthy.
Well, yeah, that's a given. You gotta practice that. You gotta train for it.
She caught me going through her things. A terrible thing, I know, but I don't regret it. Something...
Okay, but you didn't find anything.
Apologies for Betu's earlier mischief. I hope he didn't damage the will. He's normally better behaved, but... The ladies... Yes. I had taken over kitchen duties while Edric was away. I was restocking the pantry after returning from the market when I heard a loud crashing noise from the library. I thought Betu might have knocked something over in the library, But when I went to check, the door was blocked by something heavy. By the time Yes, she was lying on the floor, motionless. One of the ladders had fallen and there were books scattered all around. I can take you to... No. Lady Weatherly was the only one in the library. Betu is usually plastered to the lady's side, but he wasn't in the library. He was shut up in Pelena's room. I wonder why she would have put him there.
So she closed him in his room to prevent him from protecting her. So, Lady Pelena, there we go.
Well, Pelena keeps going on about Edric, our cook. She says he was acting suspiciously leading up to her death. But for what it's worth, you should take a look at the library. I'll meet you there.
Of course. The scene of Lady Weatherly's fall. Let us investigate the library. The library is to the left. Your other
she was very clearly murdered, and Lady Pelena is obviously the one orchestrating
We must study
it.
the scene carefully. Look for anything out of place.
Through the window, look at that broken glass.
Was that window already broken?
No. It was definitely intact before Lady Weatherly's death.
Something has broken the glass. Perhaps this was... You are certain this is where you found her body?
Yes. I'll never forget the sight of her lying there.
Quite the mess for a simple fall, don't you think?
Here's the other thing, right? So, if she fell here, and she fell off a ladder, why is the ladder over here? So there's that. And if she fell from her ladder, right? Because it looks like this ladder was cut and it broke. And we got the damage here from the ladder fall, right? Why is there books disheveled over here? Why was her body found over here? So that doesn't line up.
Certainly a ladder couldn't have caused this much damage to the statue. Mizik has seen enough.
Yep. Murder!
No blood, a broken window, and a fractured statue with no explanation as to how it was damaged. Mizik feels the details don't add up. Investigations always require some stretch of the imagination, but to make... Perhaps the fantasy is the clue. Only a panicked hand could make such messy brushstrokes. Could Otho's arrival from the market have startled the suspect, leading them to block the door and escape out of the broken window? But then why create such an elaborate scene? A fall is simple enough, a tidy portrait. We should continue to investigate this broken window.
Yep.
I would never hurt Lady Weatherly.
Until the investigation is complete, everyone
It's not
is a
Ortho,
suspect.
though. Ortho's not the bad guy here. It's Lady Pelena.
The library exterior is just around the corner.
Grapes.
Betu. Fortis is sniffing. Betu found a key. And look, it seems Betu wants us to follow him.
The chef's been murdered.
Moons above. Is that Edric?
It was I, loyal cook Endrick, who killed our leader. She planned to meet sweet Pelena Weather for tea, but I tainted her favorite tea with ginger, hibiscus, and foul poison. The same poison I've taken. I write this letter and I can bring myself cursed rogue. Despite doting, I never saw a more servant. Now I join her in the great. No, that's
a
crap.
confession, and a flowery one at that. Mizik is tea.
He's
This
been
one smells
murdered and then
ginger,
framed.
hibiscus. Edric's tankard. There seems to be a suspicious residue inside.
I'll never return home. Those who saw fit for his memorial lost.
So this is the memorial Lady Weatherly built for her son.
Grapes. Yep. Nope. Lady
Mizik's
Pelena.
snout wrinkles at the stench of both fresh and old death. Betu led us to the memorial of the lost Why would Edric lead us to Uriel's memorial and then kill himself? And earlier, the cook warned us of some... The note says that Edric served Lady Weatherly poisoned tea the day she died, but the cook had already left the grounds.
Yep.
Otho confirmed that himself. And this letter says that Helena was present for tea, but she said she was out all morning.
Yep. So, again, Helena is the real killer here.
A good question, but the memorial may be a greater clue. Lady Weatherly had gone to great lengths to find her son, but was certain of his death to raise this memorial. Our Uriel... We know the real Uriel went to fight in Varen's revolt, and that Lady Weatherly spent a fortune to find his body. We also know from the note in the lady... Yes, our masquerading rogue. The cook was certain that he was an impostor, but what about the others? Aquilia has her suspicions, but shouldn't Helena have known? And he was the only one who could have ended the impostor's ruse. But then there is Edric's confession. Could it be a forgery to throw us off the trail? We should question the impostor, but we mustn't let on that we know his gambit. I also have my reservations about the once and again widowed Helen. Steady yourself as we approach the impostor, Uriel. This ruse may not be his only crime. It's increasing. We know the real Uriel went to fight in Varen's...
Okay, so let's go deal with this. Good morning. Just popping in to say hi before my daughter's sports day. All right. Well, thank you for stopping in. What sport is she doing today?
What is with all the questions? Our
There's our
intrepid
imposter.
investigators.
Talk to him, friend.
Helena and I were just arguing over what to do with my mother's estate. The cook, you say? Well, as close as any young heir is with their staff. Now that I think about it, I always did find him strange. Always one for the shadows. I'm glad Helena saw fit to fire him. I only wish I were here to do it myself.
Just random activities that schools do for physical education. Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Dead? What a ghastly turn of events! Hold on. Another memory is coming back to me.
Of course it is. Perfect timing, bud.
The cook always had a secret love for my mother. Was it grief that led him to kill himself? It must have been. You don't think he also killed Mother?
You're a bad actor, bud, and you just said exactly what was in the forged confession letter. Crazy.
Oh, yes, of course. No, I must have gotten ahead of myself. Yes, that's it. All this death, I thought I left it behind on the battlefield, but it seems to have followed me home. Whether murderer or murderee, my heart goes out to Edric.
Yeah. You're a shit
Thank
liar,
you,
bud.
Uriel. That's all. We should speak to Helena next, traveler.
There's been another murder? The killer could come for any one of us next.
Nonsense. It's clear Edric was a troubled man who killed Lady Weatherly and took his own life.
Maybe so, but I'm not leaving this room just yet.
Yep. Big old frame job.
Oh, Mizik, do you have a... Mizik, traveler, how fares the investigation? With so much still left to speculation, I've found myself wandering the ground. Edric? A murderer? I'm astonished. I guess I was right to be suspicious of him, but now I wish I'd had him jailed when I could have. Well, the lady and I had intended to meet that morning, but it slipped my mind. If the tea was poisoned, wouldn't that make Otho the suspect? With Edric away, I haven't the expertise, of course, to make such an accusation. But I do wonder. Otho and Edric have worked the estate for ages. Could they have felt entitled?
Thank you, Pelina. We
So
will
you're trying to
investigate
remove
all
anyone that
lingering
can
threads. Traveler,
counter
let's
your
speak with the
claims.
gardener next.
Why you make me do all this running around? We already know who it is. We gotta figure out what the key goes to. That should have been the next step.
Betu seems to have run off again. It's embarrassing, really. You'd think I'd be better at keeping a handle on him, but the dog is a free spirit. How are things? Made any progress since investigating the library? It had become one of my daily duties while Edric was away. I usually try to brew her a pot before I leave for the market. Apologies for not mentioning that earlier. My daily tasks have become innumerable. Edric is dead. I can't believe it. No, he'd never hurt Lady Weatherly. We were like a family. Wait, he couldn't have. He'd never make a mistake like that. And he was nowhere near the tea that morning. I started a pot for Lady Weatherly, and Pelina took over brewing it before I left.
Look at that. Helena.
Strange. She was most definitely here. She even offered to finish brewing it. I've been so busy as of late that I accepted her offer. It's not every day Pelina lends a hand. She usually has it in her bedchambers, but the room's been locked this whole time. It seems in the commotion the key has been misplaced. It's likely her room.
Music recalls a gilded key revealed to us by Betu.
If you already found the missing key, you may be able to unlock Lady Weatherly's bedchambers.
Alright, let's go find out if we can finally get the evidence. Because we know Lady Pelina is guilty of sin, and the other dude's an actor. Like, those are hard facts.
If the room has truly been locked this whole time, then not even the killer. Let us see if we can find any clues among the mess. The residue on that teacup stinks with the same foul smell as the tainted tea we found with Edric's body.
So what I'm thinking, she was murdered in here, and then they brought her in there and did a whole bunch of staging the scene, so to speak. I'm sure you have not forgotten you name or the swirling script of your letter around my band of mercenaries. How curious it is to see such a delicate writing spell out such a gruesome request. I still remember the shock in your husband's eyes, the way he cried out for his mother while he pawed at the dagger in his back. And the memory remained an idle amusement until talk of wealthy elderly woman searching for her son spread through Cyrodiil, and then it struck me. Your late husband and I bore striking resemblance. I'm sure you'll agree we'll have much to discuss, dear wife. We'll have to play our parts, and if we do it, we'll split that woman's fortune, or I could just reveal you are the murderess you are. You decide. Yeah,
If this
so
letter
called
is
it.
true, then Pelina played a role in Uriel's death. And this signature, is this the name of our resident imposter? Mizik would like to hear you. This note seems to confirm that Pelina Weatherly, indeed. Pelina may have sensed an end. A poisoned cup of tea would bring unwanted attention to Lady Weatherly's death. Pelina's only option would have been to stage the scene. They must have brokered an agreement. Ride out the storm of Lady Weatherly's death and come out the other side rich.
All right, let's do it.
Mizik heard a scream from down the hall. We must hurry.
He's dead! Someone killed him!
Betu? Betu, what's wrong, boy?
Nobody leaves until Mizik finds out what happened. Traveler, there's something by the body. Quick!
You saved those poor mages trapped within Elden Hollow. An
Apologize for
honorable
letting my
deed.
fear get the best of me. I was afraid of telling the truth. Risk life, solid before Lady Rarideath. I went through Plano's belonging. Suspect she was cool, but lately erratic, always looking over her shoulder. When I searched her room, I discovered the correspondence with Proctor. She had Uriel killed and now the assassins where I gave the prove the undoing and I doomed her. Trying to send her, I refused and I told her I hid it since the seat and knew that I had revealed the betrayal. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Okay.
We have to help him. Something has made Betu terribly ill. Wait. I recognize this smell. Yes, I couldn't place it until now. We used this poison around the estate grounds. We've fallen into... Yes, in the pantry. I kept a tin of medicinal herbs for this very occasion.
Quickly,
Alright, so that's downstairs.
Search the pantry. Missy hopes we can save at least one life today.
Okay, in here. Yeah, we gotta save this dog for sure. Can't wait to get the rest of the companions open on my Arcanus so that I can see what they look like in my color scheme. Yeah, for sure. That's always a cool thing, is like seeing which armor complements which characters the best. I love that stuff. Alright, so let's go save the dog.
Betu! He's recovering. The herbs must be working.
Wonderful news. Traveler, our imposter is dead, and our killer nearly succeeded in taking Betu's life as well. It is also not lost on Mizik as to who is missing from this room. The note you found with imposter Theoph... The lengths the cook went to protect Lady Weatherly. This one, she must be held accountable for her...
Betu? What is it? Where are you going?
Quickly,
here.
follow that dog.
And there we go. There's the other room that I said we were going to come back to. The cavern. Here it is.
These tunnels seem to run under the entire property. Good thing we have Betu's nose to lead us.
Get away from me, you beasts!
I hear Pelena's voice. She must be nearby.
Well, Betu says we're almost there.
Damn dog. I've committed no wrong. That man was an imposter. If I hadn't gotten him first, then he would have killed me. I spit on Theophan. How could you possibly say that? Whose inane rambling convinced you of such nonsensical drivel? Damn this rotting estate. Everything I did, everyone I killed, I did it for my own survival. I hope it crumbles into dust just like that crone and her son.
The Count of Skingrad will decide your fate.
All right.
You've done great work today, Traveler. Helena will be delivered to Skingrad. With the evidence in hand, she should face charges for the deaths of Uriel, Lady Weatherly. To think this one nearly forgot about our remaining golden thread. Aquilia is the only living relative. Fortune aside, what we accomplished today is no small feat.
What have you got there, boy?
It seems Betu has brought us something. Betu, where did you find this? Betu?
Let's go.
Otto, escort Pelena back to the manor. We will follow the dog.
You're gonna let the groundskeeper do it? I don't know that the... Mizik, you should have went. And then I will follow and meet up with you. That would have been the better answer.
Missy can't believe it. Is this Lady Weatherly's missing fortune? Let us
If you're reading
investigate.
this, then Betsy trusted you with the hidden fortune. I hope that one day I pass this treasure on to my son Euro, but I learned that the woman that I cared for, his daughter, betrayed me, and so it became necessary to hide the fortune she is so clearly hungry to acquire. I haven't gathered all the proof yet, but I call upon my dear friend who can help with the crimes in her light. If I don't live long enough to see the downfall of this documented service, my final wish. My dear dog Batu and the staff that looked after both of us while I retreated into my grief are to receive the remaining fortune and the estate. They are to what remains of my family, and through them the memory of my dear Uriel will live on. To Eric and Otho, thank you for making grieving a little bit more comfortable. I hope this fortune helps. Yep, good. So
Lady
the person we
Weatherly must
wanted
have
to end
left
up
that
with
note
it
before her death.
still ended up
We
with
should
it.
show
Perfect.
it to Aquilia.
That's outstanding. So, Otha, the groundskeeper, ends up with everything, which is what we wanted the result to be anyways. Miss anything? No, it's a big circle. Of course it is. Everything's a big circle. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright. Why are all the Khajiits so worried in this game? They all sound like they're panicking. That's fair. They do. They always have that worried tone. Maybe it's because when the voice actors that are doing the Khajiit, they speak up, they get higher in volume and pitch and tone rather than speaking down in a conclusive way. Go around. There we go.
Helena, is it true? After everything my aunt did, Otho did his best to explain your findings. But is it really true? I thought she was acting strangely, but I blamed it on the grief. I would never... I knew something was off about him. But to think he also played a role in killing my cousin. Lady Weatherly gave Helena a Betu was safeguarding the fortune this whole time? It's a strange request, leaving the remaining fortune to Betu and her staff? But I wouldn't dare go against my aunt's wishes.
You
Yeah, she
have
wasn't
got to be
involved. We knew
joking.
that.
The dog. I can't believe it. There must be some mistake.
There's no mistake, Otho. I will help oversee the transfer of ownership. You and Betu will have all your needs seen to.
Excellent work, my friend. Let us speak. Many lives were lost, despite our best efforts. There is certainly joy to be found in our success, but this one will spend many a night wondering if there was more that could be done. Perhaps he is not as good an investigator as he thought. Do not downplay your role either, friend. You forget,
Investigator, Garb.
Mizik was a
Ooh.
bumbling mess. Mizik hopes Mizik will stay... Yes.
Alright, so let's see what
I've
that
always
looks like.
preferred cats. But you've made a good argument for dogs, Betu.
This one thinks Betu likes you.
Oh, well, you do seem like a very good boy.
Costume,
I'll be
maybe?
sure to order a lifetime supply of steak dinners.
Is it an actual is it an actual armor piece? Is that what it is? It's an actual armor piece. Oh, it's not collected either. Let's see here. Actions. Bind. There we go. All right. One more section done. Very nice, very nice. All right. So. Da, 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 da. Let's take a look here at what we've got. We have... Let's see. Did we do all our endeavors? We did. Very nice. Okay, we know all the recipes. All right. So, we are going to raid. Da-da-da-da. Stick with me for the raid, and we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow. We'll continue this tomorrow. Let's see. Who do we want to raid? Alright, let's raid out. Thank you all for being here. Please stick with me for the raid. And keep an eye on those notifications. We'll be live again tomorrow where we'll continue the side quests in Gold Road. Alright, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.